Hello, everyone. This is SBW Sales, and we have a fireside podcast with Courtney Scarlett, and wanted to introduce you to him. So, Courtney, just tell us a little bit about yourself because we want our audience to get to know you and see who you are and what you're about.
Well, hello. Thank you very much, Tova, for having me on this podcast. So, my name is Courtney Scarlett. I live in Ajax with my lovely wife and three beautiful children, Serafina, Jeremiah, and Isabella. We are just a lovely family, and we love just spending time with each other, and just we're very devoted in the Word in our faith. So we are very much. Devoted in our faith. We are Sabbath keepers. We attend a church called the Church of God International. Everything we do is, our faith is the foundation in everything that we do. So we hold our faith very, very seriously. And personally, on a business level, I'm a realtor. I've been in the real estate industry for, I want to say, this year will be 6 years, I believe, 2018. Yeah, 6 years. This year will be 6 years in the real estate industry. I just love helping people, which is why I got into real estate. I love helping people, and purchasing a home is one of the biggest decisions, if not the biggest decision they'll ever make in their lifetime. And it's not an easy process whatsoever. It can be very stressful. So I love just being there for my clients, helping guiding them throughout the journey, and just being that trusted advisor that they need.
Beautiful. Well, Courtney, you and I met a long time ago when you were in a different industry, was the automotive industry. So, how do you find the transition from automotive, which is also a big ticket item, to real estate? And how do you best help people? Because you say you like to help, and I hear that about you, and I love that you have your faith in your family, and that's really important. But how is it that you help people from like the start to finish?
Well, definitely. Well, to answer your first question about how the transition was from the automotive. So yeah, we did meet when I was working at Auto Trader and you were over at Ford. So so I mean the biggest difference when it comes to sales, then I don't even really consider what I do sales, even though yes, it's still sales because you're still selling. But for me, I'm all about just I'm not really a transactional kind of person. I'm more of the relationship kind of person, Tova. So it's all about just building that relationship with my clients, and that can look so many different ways. For me, it's all about just for one, having honesty, integrity, and being completely transparent throughout the whole process. Because at the end of the day, they might have so many different questions, and they don't know, which is why they come to an expert in me to help facilitate this. So the biggest thing for me when it comes to helping people and guiding them through the journey is just being patient. I think that's one of the most important things, because if I'm not patient and if I don't listen to them, I can just make my own assumptions, and that can just steer things in a completely different and direction that we want to go into. So just being patient, listening to them, being empathetic, because it's a stressful process. So I need to understand that they're going to have their highs and they're going to have their lows. They're going to have more lows than highs throughout the process. So just being patient, being gentle and caring, and offering that piece that they need to help facilitate their transactions.
That's beautiful. And again, I understand like a transaction is just one time going into a store and pressing like a cash register and saying, yeah, thank you so much for the one-time sale, and that's it. So it's about the relationship. So you're about helping people throughout the relationship. So maybe it's a first-time home buyer that now has a family and now there may be grandparents. So it's like a whole different type of, and maybe it's telling and having lots of referrals with your one time person that maybe it's going on to the other. So
Yeah.
and I did put my hand up and say don't tell about the Ford Lincoln dealership, but yes, it was our past, and we worked for those other companies, and I usually don't mention about the other companies, but yeah, it's but staying true to your word and following up and following through. Like the reason you and I are still talking today is either you or I, both of us, will follow up with each other just to see how we're doing. So it's that relationship as opposed to becoming it's not just a customer, it's a friend for
Yeah,
life, right? So
for sure.
it's
Absolutely.
it's very
100%.
important about that. So tell us a little bit about your history. I really want, I think our listeners need to know about how you live now in Ajax, but what happened before then? Tell us about your history and share as much as you want.
For sure. So yeah, well, first of all, I was born in Toronto. I grew up in Scarborough with my family of there are five children in the family, and yeah, we grew up in a Christian home. So we were at the time we were Sunday keepers. We would go to church every single Sunday. My father, my late father, he was a pastor of our church, so we were very, very. I wouldn't say, well, yeah, it was a little strict household growing up, but it was a very disciplined household. So they raised us very well. So from Scarborough, I moved out to Durham. I think when I was 23 years old, I moved out to Oshawa.
That was only like 2 years ago though, right? So
I know, right? Yeah. Well, you can tell by these grays that it's all the stress from these kids.
yeah, absolutely. And they're just young ones. They're just all babies still, right?
They're young. So yeah, so when I was 23, we moved out to Oshawa, and at that time I was still working in Scarborough. So I ended up leaving home, getting a place on my own back in Scarborough because just easier for the commuting to work was just so much simpler. So I was there for about 3, 4 years, and while I was there, I met my wife. Well, at the time, yeah, we met, and yeah, we just hit it off instantly. Got married in 2014. And like I alluded to, we have three beautiful children who are 8, 5.5, and 2 years old right now. So it's definitely a
Happy
handful.
happy 10th anniversary, by the
Yes,
way,
we
this
just
year.
celebrated our 10-year anniversary last month. Yeah,
Yeah,
last month.
happy anniversary. That's
Yeah.
great.
And
So
and
yeah,
I,
so you're a little bit older than 23 right
a
now.
little
I
bit, a
get
little bit,
that.
just a smidge, just a smidge. But I still look like I'm 23. So
Well, we know about the age. It's in there was their age in our mind, the age on our birth certificate, and the age that we really feel. So there's a
exactly,
3 year.
exactly. So yeah, so we
So
as a family moved out to Ajax in 2016. Bought our first home out here in Ajax, and one of the reasons why I became a realtor in the real estate industry was just going through that process of purchasing a house. It was just so intricate, and it was a very stressful process at the same time. But my realtor at the time, she was just so great, so helpful, so patient with us. I think we must have looked at over 200 houses. We put in,
wow,
we put
200
in,
houses.
yeah, it was crazy.
Oh,
We
yeah.
started looking in February. We didn't purchase a house until the end of July.
Wow,
We put
wow.
in at the time about 9 offers and got rejected on all 9 offers because the market was just so hot. The home that we're in right now, that was the 10th offer in which came through. So we're very blessed. We're very fortunate for that. But
And it was the one that was meant to be, right? So the
it
other
was.
nine was just
They weren't
starter
meant to be.
trying
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
definitely, definitely. And even though might not be my dream house, which I always tell everybody, your first home doesn't need to be your dream house. But you know what? You've accomplished something. You're into the home ownership, and you can have a plan, maybe 5, 10 years down the line, sell the house, take the equity that you built from the house, and go purchase something bigger, something that's more practical for you. And of course, as your family grows, you probably want to do that anyway. So that's definitely where
Absolutely.
we are right now, as we have three now. When we came here, we only had one. So it's almost time for us to move on out and get something a little more spacious to accommodate everybody.
Right. So part of that is your wish list of things that you want, the school you want to be in. Do you want a pool, not a pool? Do you want to be near parks? All those items. So Courtney, tell us about how, and again, I understand it's your background, but what other things make you happy? What are the things that you do in your everyday life that makes you happy and things that are also kind?
Yeah, so things that make me happy is just family and loved ones, and also just my happiness comes from making other people happy. So when I can do something to put a smile on somebody's face, to help solve one of the issues that they have, that just adds joy and happiness to myself. And just being around people that I enjoy being around, whether it be friends, family, loved ones, just spending that quality time with them. We don't even have to be doing much, but just spending that quality time, having a nice conversation, going out, maybe breaking some bread together, just that quality time with people and just helping putting smiles on people's faces just brings me so much joy.
And I appreciate that. And I also know that you have some sports that you love to do. So tell us about your sports and which of your kids love those sports too.
Yeah, so I've been playing sports since probably before I can even walk. So my number one sport that I play is baseball, which I've been playing since I was probably 3, 4 years old, and I'm still playing now. That is my number one favorite pastime. I love baseball. I'm a big fan of the Toronto Blue Jays. We're not doing too well right now, but that's okay. Um, I
Go
actually
Blue
have
Jays.
I know. I actually have my son in T-ball right now, and he's doing pretty well. He's enjoying it. He loves it. He was in soccer last year, didn't really like it. So, like Daddy, he's taken on to baseball, which I'm very thrilled about. My daughter, she actually loves dance, ballet, and swimming. She's a big swimmer. She loves to swim.
Oh wow.
Daddy doesn't know how
So
to swim, so she doesn't get that from
really?
me.
Oh, okay. Well,
But yeah,
that
so
was
it's
that was one of my past. I used to teach adults how to swim. So
swimming nice. I
and
went to
kids, yeah.
adult. I did take adult lessons about, yeah, I would say 11 years ago or so. I just failed miserably. I'm just not meant to learn how to swim. I think it's more mental, like
For sure it
psychological,
is.
that I
For
just
sure.
I
For sure.
mentally can't
But
get to it.
this
But
we can take that offside another time. We can talk about swimming because I can have a whole podcast about swimming and how I used to hate swimming and then I became a swimming instructor and an instructor trainer back in the old days. So yeah.
yes, yes, yes. But it brings me so much joy watching my kids play sports and watching them do something that they love to do. I'm all about just staying active and keeping my body moving. We're not getting any younger, so we have to just keep
We're
moving
not.
ourselves.
I thought
I
we
know,
were
I
going
know,
backwards.
right? I'm all about just keeping myself moving and just staying active. And I love seeing my kids stay active too, instead of being at home in front of their screens all day that they love to do. But getting them outside and just keeping them active, I just love it.
So it's really extremely hot day today, and this week in Canada, it's the heat alerts are like super crazy. Last week it was cold. This week is hot, and that's the weather we have here in Canada. So what is it you do? What do you do with your kids when it's extremely hot, and to keep them motivated and to keep them active, even if it's hot or if it's extremely cold?
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that what we love the heat, but when it's like overly hot, like a very humid day like today, it just gets unbearable. So for us, it's all about just staying hydrated, and we don't shy from going outside. But if we do go outside, we're gonna find a nice shaded area that's not gonna be the heat that's not gonna be beaming down on us. We also in the backyard we have one of those little inflatable pools that we set up for the kids, and in fact, I'm sure when I pick up my daughter in about an hour from now, she's gonna ask me to set that up for her because it's so hot right now. And they just love, just being outside, whether it be in their little pool or playing with their water table, just having some fun. But yeah, on days like this when it's hot, we still go outside, but we just make sure that we're well hydrated and we're just, doing our best not to overheat ourselves and staying as cool as possible.
So that's really great to know because you came from a very hot country originally, and I was sort of alluding to that because a lot of our listeners are from that same country, and tell us what the country is and what's special about that original country you're from.
Yeah, so my family from Jamaica and best country in the world. Maybe I'm being biased. Me and my siblings, we were all born here, but I've been to Jamaica about 6 or 7 times. It's my home away from home. I always love going back there. What makes Jamaica so special is just everybody is just so genuinely nice and kind to each other. They just have a motto like "No problem, man." It's just such a slow paced environment. Whereas here in Canada, we're always go 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 go. It's so busy. We're always on the go. We can't slow down. But over there, it's just nice and calm and peaceful. The weather's always nice and, sunny. Some days when it rains, but when it rains over there, within like 10 minutes, the sun is out and you're back out, just having a good time. The food in Jamaica is amazing. Whether you're getting, some nice curry goat, some rice and peas, stew chicken, whatever it is, curry chicken. The food is just amazing. The fruits, my favorite fruit, mangoes. I love a nice Julie mango. That's my favorite fruit, which is found in Jamaica. Yeah, if I wasn't living in Canada, I could definitely find myself in Jamaica, just living on the food, enjoying the weather, enjoying the people. And of course, there are some negatives about Jamaica too, but Jamaica is such a beautiful, beautiful island, and I'm so proud to have my heritage come from Jamaica.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that's lovely to hear. And when I was there, I found that It was a very interesting country because the weather was definitely beautiful, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was very kind people for sure.
definitely.
If I were to ask you five key things that you wanted to impart on people that are the five most important things in the world for keeping yourself calm and happy and kind, what are those five things that you would say?
Well, the number one thing, like I'm not even thinking about five, the number one thing is just having a good relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, once you have that, I think everything else just gets taken care of. I mean, I'm a big um guy on Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and everything else will be added to you. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what you need, just look to the Lord for me, and everything else will be taken care of. That's one, two, three, four, and five for me. Just seeking the Lord.
I thought you were going to say family, kindness. Okay, good.
Seeking the Lord is my one, two, three, four, and five. That's everything.
That I never guessed that, but okay, good. All right. So is there six or is that also the six?
And six.
Okay, up for the top 10. I get it. Okay, that's fine. So how did you transition? I mean, I hear that you went through the process, but why real estate? Why not your own other something? Like, why is it real estate that was like, and you're good at it. I know that you do photography with real estate. You do lots of other things. So, but why real estate as opposed to the million other jobs that you could find in the world?
Yeah, so as I alluded to a little bit earlier on, as in 2016 when my wife and I were purchasing our house, I just really enjoyed the process of, looking at houses, just all the intricacies of, the different aspects of the houses, the construction, the design. I just have so much joy just when like I told you, we went to over 200 houses. And while going there, like most people would get so discouraged, like, oh my goodness, I still haven't found a house yet. All my offers are getting rejected. But for me, every time we would go to a different house, it was like, wow, this is beautiful. And even now, as I'm in the industry now and I go to different houses, it inspires me. It gives me different ideas for things that I can do to my own house. So I think the real reason why I went into real estate was because I just have such a great joy and love for real estate. And also, which I touched on a little bit before, is just my passion for helping people. And I know for myself, because we had such great help from our realtor when we were purchasing a house, it's such an intricate process, and it's really, really, it could be a very fragile situation when it comes in with families, whether it's their first house, their second house, maybe it's in an investment property or whatever it is. It's in a very emotional process, and I just like to facilitate, my help and to utilize the experiences that I've had. Because for me, like I'm actually having a client right now who's looked at, I think we probably put in maybe about 4 or 5 offers so far. They've all got rejected. And for them, they're just at the point emotionally where they're just, they're crushed. They're like, oh my goodness, I want to just stop because I don't think I'm ever going to find a place. Like, when? So for me, having already lived that, having already experienced that, I can then, share with them my experiences and lift them up to, encourage them that, okay, these 5 houses that we got rejected, maybe those weren't meant to be. But our house that is meant to be, we haven't found it yet. So just giving them that encouragement and let them know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So I just love being that trusted advisor and just sharing my own experiences with them. That's what made me really get into real estate, just to share what I have, what I've learned, and to be able to help others along the way.
And being that patient, very patient person that going through the process. So if I were to sell my house today and I were asking you to help me sell the house, what kind of things would you suggest to me?
Yeah, so number one, if you're selling your house, the first thing, like when it comes to like home upgrades and stuff, one of the biggest rooms in the house that you want to focus on is the kitchen. The kitchen, that's usually where you spend most of your time when you're cooking or whatnot. So I would definitely suggest possibly upgrading your kitchen. If you have an older house, possibly upgrade your kitchen. Other things that you'd want to do is declutter. So decluttering is huge. I went to show a property this past Monday, and as soon as I walked in, there was just things all over the house. They didn't stage it. There were just boxes, junk, gunk. It was just disgusting everywhere. So just decluttering and depersonalizing your house, because the home buying journey is such an emotional process. When you walk into that home, first impression means so much. And if you're going to see, people's pictures and junk there, you can't really relate like, oh yeah, I can see myself living here. So by getting rid of that junk, getting rid of that clutter, you're just making that prospective buyer who walks into your house, they want to be like, oh wow, yes, I can see myself living here. So definitely decluttering and depersonalizing the area. Also, another thing when it comes to exterior, just cleaning up the exterior and just improving the curb appeal. That goes a long way.
So garbage on the front lawn is not a good thing, right?
Ooh, no, no, no. Which I've also seen. I've seen garbage. I've seen toys, and like just clear it out. Just make it presentable. When you're walking into a home, it should be like when you're presenting your house, it should be like a show home. Like someone's coming in there, you want them to be like, "Wow, this is amazing! Like I want to move here right now." Which a lot of times when my clients we come looking at properties, they don't want to leave. They're already saying, "Okay, this is my room. This is her room." They don't want to leave even though we only have half an hour, but we just got to make their experience as nice as possible. Another thing that you can do to get your house ready, just a simple paint job. Paint your house, maybe upgrade the bathrooms, and just replace the your appliances. Just modernize your house pretty much. The more you modernize the house and the more care you put into the house, not only is it going to look attractive to prospective buyers, but if you can generate enough interest in your house, then you can then lead to multiple offers on offer day, which can lead to more money in your pocket at the end of the day.
Beautiful. Is there a good time of year to sell, buy houses?
The best time of the well, and when it comes to selling, you see the real estate market is like a roller coaster. It's up and down. When it comes to selling, I would say the busiest time of the year is the spring market. That's usually when the buyers they're out, so they're ready in full force. They're like, okay, we just went through the Christmas rush, and now we have some money saved up again. So let's go out there and purchase a house in the spring market. So I think for sellers, it's definitely the spring market is a great time to get your house out there and to get that visibility. For buyers, I mean, the market right now is just so crazy. I wouldn't say there's a best time for buyers, but whenever someone asks me when the best time to buy a house, yesterday. Yesterday was always the best time to buy a house because naturally speaking, the real estate market is always like year after year is on the upward trend. I know in 2022 we had a pretty much anomaly that year when prices just soared and then they came back down. But over the past, I would say 40, 50 years, if you look at real estate trends are have gone up year after year. So the sooner that you're financially able to purchase a house, that is the best for you because like I mentioned, the real estate market is only going to go up and your values will only appreciate as time goes on. There might be a little dip along the way, but historically, as we look at historic trends, the real estate market continues to go up and up each and every year.
That's great. That's great. So if I were to, again, wanted to refer people to you, so I think that, I always see that please refer me. But for realtors, there's how does the person that really wants to refer themselves to you, what is the best way to do a referral?
Well, for me personally, if somebody wants to refer somebody to me, the best thing to do is to just do a nice soft introduction to the two of us, hand off say, for example, you wanted to refer someone to me, your friend. You can just give me their contact information, maybe even do a quick little intro email to the both of us, just introducing each other. Then what I love to do, I love to reach out because a lot of times when let's just say you, for example, were to wanted to refer someone to me, you give them my information. A lot of times people are like reluctant. They twiddle their toes, even though they know they have to do it. They don't really do it right away because sometimes they're just maybe a little apprehensive. We're not sure yet. But for me, when I get that information from somebody, I want to get in contact with that person within the next 24 hours at the very latest, just so I can introduce myself and just to figure out more about them because the home buying journey is not just here, give me my information, let's go out looking houses. It's really a personalized experience. So I usually like to, whether it's setting up a Zoom call, set up a coffee meeting, and just go over their history, figure out where they are right now, and figure out where they want to be, in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now. Because the beauty of real estate is that there's not a one size fit all for everything, for everyone. So when I meet with, anyone who refers someone to me, I just want to extract as much information of them as possible so I can customize a solution that best fits your needs. Because what might fit, Bob might not be for Bill. They might have completely different things that they're looking for. So for me, when I get those referrals, it's all about just finding out exactly what they want and what they need and making a solution that tailors to their needs.
And also the location for each person. Your location that you love may be a different location that I love. So the location, and again, that want and wish need of what is it you really want. So that's
Yes.
great. That's great to hear from you. Do your kids help you with your business at all?
They do.
Hey,
They do. They
Dad,
do. So
this one needs to buy a house.
So yeah, actually, they do. So for example, sometimes some of my reels that I do, my kids are in some of my reels. I go door knocking sometimes and handing out flyers, and my kids sometimes assist me with handing out flyers, which is great. And yeah, they're big advocates, especially my big 8-year-old. She's a big advocate. She carries my business cards around and she hands them out for me sometimes to her school, her teachers. So in fact, funny
Nice,
enough,
nice.
last year my I got my daughter's teacher a house because my daughter, she advocated for me, so she got me that business.
That's hilarious. So it's a family owned business. So
It
yeah,
is for sure. You
when
got to get
when
the
she
whole family
turns
involved.
18, she can do the same.
That's
No
right, carry
fun.
on the legacy.
Yeah, that's great. How is it your wife supports you the best?
Yeah, so my wife, just in terms of encouragement, because with the real estate industry, it's a lonely business because you're pretty much all by yourself. You can go into the office, but even in our office, not many people come to our office. And when we're on the road, you're by yourself and you're making offers, you're doing it by yourself. So it's a very lonely business. So just giving me that emotional support that I need is what my wife really does such a great job at for me.
And I've met your wife. She's a great person, a great soul. So it's
She is.
nice
She is.
that she's on your left side and your right side, depending
She
what
is.
you
She really is.
need.
She really is.
Absolutely. Couple more things before we close off. So if I were to ask you to give 4 tidbits or 5 tidbits of if for real estate, for raising kids, for business, and a couple other things of just being happy, what would those things be? And
Four
don't
tidbits.
answer the way the answer you gave me last time. I want something
Four
more in
tidbits for being
depth.
happy.
Well, no, for family, for your just to keep it whole, because in this day and age, family's not always together. They're all sometimes apart and stuff like that. So family, business, and work-life balance.
Yeah, so for family, one of the most important things is just being there, spending time, spending quality time with your family. For me personally, with my 3 young children, I want to spend as much time for these are the formative years. So just spending as much quality time as possible with your children, with your wife too. I mean, for me personally in my life, I'm seeing so many marriages fall apart right now. And I think one of the biggest things is just well, maybe a lack of communication, whether it be we don't prioritize me time enough. Like I'm guilty of that myself. We don't prioritize.
Do you have a date night every once a month or once a week?
We don't, which is something that we
Okay.
want to incorporate more. So definitely incorporating date night and incorporating, me time, because at the end of the day, if you're just focusing on your kids all the time and neglecting the relationship, naturally the relationship is just going to fall apart. So you got to make sure that you put that time, invest that time into spending time with your spouse. So that's definitely just that spending time, quality time with your family is absolutely important. When it comes to
Beautiful.
business, good tips when it comes to business is just especially for entrepreneurs, people who even just getting into the entrepreneurial maybe getting into your business. One thing that you want to focus on is just be persistent and be consistent. Consistency is so key because at the end of the day, you're not always going to be, at the top and the top. You're going to have your low days, but as long as you're consistent, if you have a goal for yourself and you continually set out, if you consistently do what you need to do to achieve your goals, you're going to hit your goals. But as soon as you stop being consistent and you stop doing what needs to get done, then you're not going to be productive. So the best best thing to do for when it comes to being productive is just being consistent and continually doing what you need to do and never give up. When it comes to work-life balance, I don't really believe that there's really a balance per se, because I think you just need to set a time. You need to differentiate yourself. You're gonna have your work time, you're gonna have your personal time. Is there a balance? I don't know if there's really a balance, but you need to, when it comes to work, you need to, be involved and dedicated to doing your work when that needs to get done. When it comes to family time, you need to, put away your work, that can come back later, but you need to be there for your family, be there for each other, and just help to grow that family and to grow your business respectively.
Any final words, Courtney? And thank you for all that you've said.
No, I just wanted to thank you. Like I said, we met about, I want to say 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, I don't know how many years ago.
It was a while, because
It's been
I'm
a
still
while.
25 again. So yeah,
Yes,
you can do
but
the math.
it's just so great to continue to stay in touch with you. And I want to thank you for allowing me to come on to your podcast and to just to share a little bit about me. You're such a great person. You're a beautiful person. And I just really appreciate everything that you do. And yeah, I'm just so glad that we continue to keep in touch after all these years.
Thank you so much, Courtney. I love the enthusiasm you bring. And what we'll do is when we have the podcast ready to go, we'll have your website, a little bit of bio, and you can reach out to Courtney Scarlett, and you can buy your next dream home or your next dream homes and share with your friends. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we're going to sign off. This is Tova G and Courtney Scarlett from SBW Sales, our fireside podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.